Listen to me. Naked, I won't have. I still want to see you in spandex. I want to see you and Andres
Yeah.
next to each other.
No.
All righty. I think we are ready to go. Uh-oh. Wait a second. Something happened. Something just came up. Oh, I'm sorry. All righty. Live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We are live. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, produced by the Sportscast. I'm your host, Victor Arocho, along with Byron Jones. Welcome to the show. Please remember to subscribe to on all your channels to the Sportscast. We have a playlist for the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. There's other shows we have every day during the week. There's a different show, different sports topic. Please subscribe. Smash the YouTube channel. If you like our show, please share it. In our show on YouTube, you'll be able to have mock drafts that Byron has put together. We also have depth charts on the Giants. We talk all about NFC East and all around the NFL, depending on the topic that is like most enlightening that's coming up for the day. Again, we also have the Jersey Boys Sports Talk podcast. So go to your Apple, hit the purple button, podcast, look for Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Whap, you see that sign in that show? Subscribe, leave us a review. It'll help us out tremendously. Mr. Byron Jones, you said it's hot.
Hot, man. 91 degrees, hot, man. I had to turn the air conditioner on in the house, man. It's that hot.
It's not 90 here. It's nice. It's hot. Getting hot. It's going to be in the 80s. But we've had torrential rainstorms. So during the day yesterday, I'm like getting like amber alerts. Well, it sounded like amber alerts, but they were actually tornado warnings, flood warnings. Yeah, I mean, this is no joke. Byron, 20 inches of rain. Think about it, Byron. That's that much. Water is powerful, dude. So you're talking cars are flooded. That means insurance companies are overloaded. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So it was a little bit crazy here. And it's supposed to be. And then today it was beautiful all day, and then bang at night it was another torrential rain. So it's been a little.
Has most of the water receded yet?
Yes. Okay, and no. So we're, what you and I are used to in Jersey, when it snows, it could be a really bad snowstorm and a lot of snow, and then all of a sudden it rains and most of it gets wiped away, right?
Yeah.
That's receding. Here it recedes in lots of places, but then there's other places where there's still a lake, like the receding in a certain area is bad. Does that make sense? So it's like, It doesn't just all recede. It recedes in most major areas, but then there's just a section that just is underwater. So I went to my wife. There's you look up the Bright Line. The Bright Line here in Florida. It's a private company, a train that they built. It's beautiful. I mean, it's comfortable, Wi-Fi, food, drinks, whatever you want, and it goes several stops. They want to go from Miami all the way to Orlando and to Tampa. So it's one of those high-speed trains.
Right.
It's 3 minutes away. My wife takes 3 days a week to go downtown Miami to work. So, it was rainy yesterday, so I wanted to go pick her up. And I called her, and I couldn't get through on one side. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to call a ride service, because we got to be careful, because our car is in a high car. And over here, she goes, I don't want the car to get ruined. So just turn around. I'll just meet you at home. I go, okay. So I turn around. Byron, I'm telling you, maybe 3 blocks. It took me almost 50 minutes to come back home.
Jeez, that's
because everything was cut off. So I was going to go like on the back streets behind. I just went 1 block over to go to the back street. It was a lake. I'm like, I ain't going through that. So I had to turn around. So since everything was blocked off in the tunnel, because I live right by where that tunnel was, it was just so crazy. Anyhow, that was some nuts. All right, so we got some stuff on the show. We got stuff to talk about Saquon. This is interesting. There is something to talk about. The Aaron Rodgers little piece that brought to it that we haven't talked about. I mean, it's getting old. Did you send me any more emails?
You get more updates? The top 150 and 5.0.
Okay,
all combined.
I'm gonna pull that up real quick. But I want to just dedicate this show to my stepdad passed away, right? So I was there this weekend at the funeral. David Cabe was married to my mom for 28 years.
Wow.
God rest his soul, and blessings to all my brothers and sisters. And kind of put the final chapter. Like my mom passed away 7 years ago. So, anyways, my stepbrother's there, Jesse Cabe, and he's like, "Hey, I got something for you." Now, the assets, they're gonna do what they do. He had a will. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but so he was he's a big NRA guy. He's a North Carolina boy, this and that. So I'm thinking, man, I'm getting me a rifle or something, right? So I don't know, can you see this? So he gives this to me. Can you see it?
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, it's like a little knick-knack, it's like flowers and stuff in it. And I'm like,
It's
okay,
nice.
it's nice. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, I'm not thinking, okay. I know it wasn't my stepdad, so it was my mom's, right? But okay, all right, thanks. What am I gonna say? We're both sad and this and that. He goes, turn it over. Byron, I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna read to you. That almost, it broke, like my heart just filled up with love. It's written, still faded. You see that little thing here?
Yeah.
From Victor to mom. Victor was 9 years old, 1974. My mom has kept this for almost 48 years.
Yep.
This little thing now is one of the most treasured items I have. And for her to have it since 1974, Byron, she was married to my dad during that time, right? They got divorced, when I was 17. She married when I was like 22, 23. She moved to California. She went from California back to Staten Island, from Staten Island to Cape Cod, several other times, and because he was in the Coast Guard, my stepdad. Then they moved to Florida and Homestead. And then remember when that bad hurricane Andrew hit?
Yeah.
She was here. Her house got destroyed.
Wow.
Okay. This survived. So my brother goes to me, Vic, do you know how many moves this thing survived that mom kept this? Preserved? I mean, so, it's like one of those trophies that may not be the biggest trophy, but it's the most important trophy to you. Anyhow, bro, I'm gonna try to keep it as long as she kept it. I mean, thank God my wife looked at it. She said, "Oh, that's super cute," because it could have been a different direction in there, right? But when I flipped it upside down, so when I was really young, I was always mom. This is also to my mom, Layla Cabe Gonzalez, and I love you, mom. Thanks for looking out for me. So I just thought that was something. 1974, 48 years. I mean, that's a long time to have something.
Yeah.
And preserves with the thing, and she just kept it there. So as a kid, how my father would always buy something for me to give to my mom and to my sisters to give, and I was one of those kids that didn't like that. So whatever I would save up, I would save, and I would want to get something from my mom. So
all right.
Let's get into sports, but it was bittersweet, but this was this was special, man.
Yeah.
It's really special to me. So, all righty. So let's get going. We want to jump into first. Let's jump into Saquon.
Yeah, let's talk about
what happened there, man. I thought this was the done deal, bro. When we spoke, we thought we were set. He wasn't he out in Arizona with the boys?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, and I saw your message. He should have took 12.5, which I agree. But what's he expecting now? Like, what is he like? What can change, Byron? I thought the deal was it. What am I missing on Saquon? Folks, we're talking about Saquon Barkley not signing the franchise tag offer, right?
Right.
So
you figure if he'd have taken the 12.5 that they offered him during the break, we wouldn't, he wouldn't be in the position that he is now. And then now he turned around, he's got to pay, play on a $10 million franchise tag. So basically, he lost, $2.5 million, following, I guess, whatever their agent, told him, because the agent should have been able to judge, the running back market. All these running backs are not getting the money, that McCaffrey got, which McCaffrey's like $16 million. You see what happened to Ezekiel Elliott, he got released. Derrick Henry, supposedly he's on the block, and Nick Chubb, all these guys. And for some reason, people just not paying all that money for one running back when you can get three running backs like the Philadelphia Eagles have with three for $10 million. And that way you can spread your money all over the place.
Now you got rested players.
Yeah, and that was just a bad calculation on his agent's part, as far as not judging the running back market.
But okay, so I want to get into that a little bit, but a little bit deeper. But help me out though. So, like, what is he expecting that can change though? I don't understand. Like, you didn't accept the deal. They extended to you. I was under the impression a couple shows ago that, we feel solid. We got Danny Dimes signed. We got Saquon. What happened? Was that reported incorrectly? Or
no, they just he misjudged, the market.
No, I'm not saying about that. I like Danny Dimes is signed, right?
He's got his.
Right, he's got his. So we talked about how he didn't get his 12.5, but he got his 10, and he's done. At least we secured those positions. Even in the depth chart, when we went through it, we knew that he was secure. We thought he was secured.
But he has to sign it. That's the only thing that's changed.
So Daniel signed his.
He's getting paid, whatever. He's done.
So we acted as if he was going to sign it.
Yes.
And I was obviously, so he's thinking he can, what is he going to think? He can test the market. They got to cut him.
He can't test anything. He's still their property. He can't, he's not going anywhere. They'd
have to cut him, right?
Yeah. Or trade him. But you figure maybe he doesn't want to go to voluntary mini camp because he doesn't want to go there and get hurt. That could be a possibility too. Because he's not.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, and he is prone. Mm-hmm.
But you also have, he's under contract still. Dexter Lawrence too. There's another guy that is not going to report to minicamp because he's in the middle of a contract extension too. And with all these these defensive tackles, man, they're getting paid. I wish I played now. Them guys are getting paid now. You got Deron Payne is like $90 million or whatever. Jeffrey Simmons from Tennessee just got $94 million, and he's on the par with these guys. So is he going to get more than $94 million? Or is he going to be in between those two guys? Because between them two, they've been a couple like all pro or Pro Bowl, whatever, a couple times. More, he's only been there once. But is he going to get paid too? So he's not going to be at camp as well.
Interesting. But they were talking, and I kind of agree with it. Think about what we've been saying over the last almost going on 4 years, right? It's a quarterback league.
Yep.
Okay. I still believe you need runner backs. You just don't need them like you used to need.
No.
Right. And then and you got to admit, out of all these running backs, McCaffrey's a special breed.
But he's always hurt too. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, but he puts up numbers even though he's hurt. I mean, he's consistent with his numbers.
But is he? My question to you is he worth $16 million?
I think in that San Francisco scheme, I think he is because he produces a lot. Man, what are his numbers?
Yeah, but
we need a stat person on.
Yeah, but when he doesn't play, like whatever, I forgot the name of the other running back that they have. He puts up numbers too, or they put Deebo Samuels back there, so they can put for some reason Shanahan is able to scheme up whatever running back they put back there, puts up numbers. So I understand the fact that McCaffrey is a special running back, but in that offense, not saying he could put anybody, but an above average back is going to get 1,000 yards in that offense.
All right. So he's in 2022, he had 159 attempts. This is McCaffrey. And with the 49ers, and he had 85 with the Panthers. Man, he had a lot of attempts.
Yeah.
So he ran for over 1,000, almost 1,100. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, almost 1,200 yards.
But is that where?
And he had 85 receiving and 8 touchdowns.
But is
And
that?
then in 2021, I'm just going 4.5. He averaged, right? 3.8, 4.85. I mean, man, he's averaging. His average is high.
But is it $16 million a year high?
I don't know. I think so. I mean, I can't tell, you know. I mean, I don't know whether the numbers or not. I just think McCaffrey. Look, you got to agree. If you line up, I love Saquon, but if you line McCaffrey and Saquon up, you've always said it. You know, other than last year, Saquon had one good year.
Well, two. His first year.
Okay, yeah. So you know that's a problem there. Zeke is a good running back, but I think that but Saquon, if they would have run offensive, you know, remember we had how many coordinators since Daniel Jones was there?
Whole bunch.
Okay, so it's not really fair to him either. But you know, Saquon to me he can be a McCaffrey type player, and he's bigger, and he can catch and he can run. You know what I mean? But they weren't utilizing him like that.
See, but the only problem with him, Saquon, is that he wore down toward the end of the year. He didn't like, he was a ball of fire at the beginning of the year. And then when, you know, they started getting injured with the offensive line and the stuff was going with that, he didn't put up the numbers that he did in the first half of the year. Right. So he kind of wore down a little bit. So we can't blame him. Right. You know, you got Matt Breida's back and Gary Brightwell and these guys are there. So maybe he doesn't have to carry the load as much as he had in the past. And with a better offensive line, you know, he rushed for 1,300 yards with a below average offensive line. If he's gonna,
okay, I'm sorry.
No, okay. if he gets an average line, you know, he definitely going to be over 1,500 yards. Who knows? You know, if he has a real offensive line.
Right now, if I had to say, because I was going to say I couldn't think of one, but one. If I had to say, like, give me a back that has just produced crazy numbers over the last 5 years. The only one I could think of is Henry.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot.
Yeah, but even, you know, people, even though he got cut, Elliott had pretty much almost the same amount of yards as Henry did. He's like in the 8,000 range or whatever it is between, you know, over the course of their career.
Right, there's just no dominant running backs. Like, you know how we talked about that they're, you know, this enjoying the league, that there's so many good quarterbacks, and then even the backups are playing good football, right? You know, again, everything is just leading to that the league is just shifting, right? The quarterback league, they're making it known, right? You know, and then the defensive line, it makes sense. Let's transition over that. I mean, give me another running back that you could say that's just like, you know, can blow your mind off. I mean, we see guys.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah. You got some good running backs. It just seems like they're figuring out that there's another young stud that they can put him in there.
Well, look what the Eagles did with Miles Sanders. Let him walk. He rushed almost 1,200 yards. They let him go.
Yeah. Well, I just think that the shift is there. Now, go back to the fact that it's a quarterback league. For me, that's the reason why the defensive linemen are getting paid.
Yeah, to get after these guys.
They got to get after those guys. You got to be faster. You got to be able to cover the edge. You got to be able to not let the guy out. You know what I mean? And you got to rush him. I mean, you got to cover everything. You know what I mean? But also, Byron, I think because it's a quarterback league, you know, in your time, you have to worry a lot more about the run and the pass equally, right? You know, you're a little bit more freer as a defensive player, defensive lineman, or an edge rusher today, because the likelihood, because how many quarterbacks are really playing under center?
Not many at all.
Not right. So if you're a lineman and you see a quarterback not under center, doesn't that change your disposition?
Yes.
I mean, you still got to watch out for things, but you know that he's not under center, right?
Most likely a pass.
Yeah, I can give that. Yeah, I mean, he's not immediately getting the ball and going right or left, right? You understand? Right? So because if you get right or left, and if he goes right and you're on the left side, a little different. If he goes left, I mean, vice versa. But when he's in the drop back position, he's coming in your line.
Yes.
right? Your job is now to get deep and get past that guy, right? Before you had to cover like the parallel of
You
the
had to
line.
cover the line, you know, the line of
You had to cover,
scrimmage.
you had to cover horizontal and vertical.
Yes.
Now you still got to cover horizontal, but not as much. You know what I mean? You got to worry about the flare out. You got to worry about, the quarterback receiving. But that's the reason I think the linemen are getting paid, is because it's proven, right? You got to get to the quarterback. And then the quarterbacks there's so many of them that are playing so well and putting up the numbers. And then you got to get to them and then worry about not touching them. That's the top part I don't like.
Yeah, but the problem is
some of those penalties they call,
they're kind of
those are weak, man. Those were bad calls. It's nothing a lineman could do.
but if
you're your size going full speed, how do you stop?
When you hit the quarterback and fall up, that's when you stop.
I understand that, but I mean, the guy, his momentum is carrying him. They're saying he wasn't driving him to the ground.
They don't want it where when you get the, like back in the day, you get the guy and you pick him up and you drive him into the ground. That's what everybody used to do back then. Even when, sometimes you were allowed, the quarterback threw the ball and you were one step, you can go ahead and, smack him a little bit or push him or whatever. Now you can't do that. Now you can't pick the guy up and drive him into the ground. If you do that, you're probably going to get you're going to definitely get a penalty, and you're probably going to get a big old fine, and you might get
possibly ejected.
Yes,
right.
You can't drive the quarterback into the ground. Not a good idea.
I just think that's where the shift is. The shift is towards the quarterbacks. The shift is towards the receivers, right? And the receivers, there's a lot of them, but the shift is for the D line. Because you notice it's not like the cornerbacks are getting paid crazy dollars, right? I mean,
Jalen Ramsey is pretty high.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just like in general, right? Across the board, right? Where there was a time that, the biggest thing everyone wanted was that the colleges weren't producing enough cornerbacks.
They're producing them now.
They're producing, well, because they shifted. Because remember, when we played, they put the best one at free safety. Right now, they're putting your best one at corner. Yep. I will tell you, when I played corner, in my sophomore season, and Coach Capral was putting me on. I'm not talking about myself. I'm just saying I happened to be playing whoever their best receiver was on the other team, and I did well. Doesn't mean that they didn't get yards, but I did well. But it was terrible. Like because I was just on that guy. I didn't learn enough to be able to play the Deion Sanders way, like kind of like the Lucy to get. And when you don't play that way, Byron, you feel like you're not even in the game.
You're all by yourself.
When you're isolated, so you better play because you're on an island, right? It's not like, the second part of that is that let's say you're doing pretty well and they stop going towards you, going after you, you're just running. Okay. And you're like, you can't hit anybody because the guy's wide, so but now, you got, if you're smart and you change the game, learn how to play off. Wait.
So we had a Rocho Island?
Yeah, man. I didn't like it. I mean, I liked it because you felt like it was a privilege that you were literally, they would I only had to give me a number. I mean, I was like Deion said, I didn't need to know defenses. Deion said, I need to know what the defense is. I didn't care. Give me the number of the guy I'm covering. That's it. That's all they told him. Give me the number of the guy I'm covering. I'm done. That's what was happening.
Wait a minute. Were you cool enough where you didn't have to go to the huddle? You just sort of just stood around and waited to see what it got?
No, we played. You remember that Capara was old school.
Yeah, I know.
You did not only go to huddle. You had to run to the huddle.
Yeah.
Like you got to run to the huddle, run back, run to the huddle, run back. And then remember my sophomore year I was a punt returner, so I was never off. Right, so it was a little crazy, but Jalen Ramsey's a good player. I mean, you can't, you got those are different types of players, right? I think he's going to do well with. He's with is he with the Jets? Right. Oh, he's with the Miami. That's right. Miami picked him up. All right, so all right, Saquon. What else is happening? Any other major changes there? You want to go through? Okay.
Oh, you figure? Well, we signed the center that we talked about last week from
Yeah, but that was the guy. That was the guy that Joey back at Donuts was like,
Yeah, well,
he's all right. And you're like, oh, great. Now we still need a center.
he's better than nothing because right now we really don't. We got three other guys that really haven't played the center position, so we could. They're probably going to draft a center in the draft. They have to. Maybe not the first round, maybe not the second, but they definitely have to address the center position with somebody.
We just got to address the line. I mean, Danny Dimes is young. We're already seeing their feelings on Saquon, right?
Well, what they're talking about up here is either cornerback or wide receiver are the two positions that they're
another wide receiver.
They need that guy, man. They need that guy that can go get it. They need like a bona fide, certified #1 receiver. They need their own version of Chase. What's his name? Chase. Somebody. Jamar Chase. Somebody. They need that guy.
And so I got top 150.
Yeah, that's it.
And then draft. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. All right. Yeah, he needs a go-to receiver, man.
Yeah, even though they have as I put it before,
they got 16 receivers right now.
Yeah, they got a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I changed it around. Like if you look at the depth chart too, I did change that around where I put the slot receivers, where they belong, the wideouts and
You said a separate email in the depth chart?
Yeah. I hope. The other thing is big, man.
I see if I put one on the top 150 prospects, I don't see depth chart.
All right, well, don't worry about it then.
All right, we'll do it. Yeah, let's do the depth chart after the draft.
Yeah, when I add all,
you know what I mean? Yeah, because then we won't know. You know what I mean?
We'll know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
the top 150.
All right, we're gonna go right into that. Let's go into Commanders. So Snyder
sold the team,
and didn't we say once he sold the team isn't he still under suit?
Probably, yeah, most likely.
Do you think that they may have negotiated something that he sold the team around the suit?
Nah.
Oh man, so that's impressive. So the owner of the Philadelphia Sixers is a partner with Magic Johnson. So that's pretty interesting. So you got Magic Johnson he still owns a part of the Lakers, no?
No, I think he sold that piece.
Okay, so he doesn't have anything with the Sixers. So now he owns the NFL team. And good for Magic Johnson, man. I tell you, for a gentleman who came out in the time we came and had the HIV, and man, it goes to show you he's magic.
Yeah, and they sold the team for a record $6 billion.
The dude ruined the team and still made what, $4 billion?
So what?
I would love to know the terms. How do they pay out? Like, how do they pay it out?
In quarters.
No, meaning like over what's the time frame?
In quarters. I want my money in quarters, and like wrap quarters.
$8 billion, right?
I want all quarters.
That's big. That would fill up your house and probably your whole block.
Well, guess what? I want mine in quarters. I want to be able to feel my money. I don't want to just know that it's
there. There was a time that they said that Bill Gates had so much money. This was a while ago, that he literally can drive around for the rest of his expected life expectancy and throw $100,000 out of the window every day and still not run out of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I couldn't have that kind of money. I wouldn't know how to act with that kind of money.
Yeah. This, I think, you get to that point for them, it's just they give a lot away. You know what I mean?
I give a lot away.
He gives a lot away. So all right, so we got that. So the Commanders are now going there. Now let's see what happens with Rivera.
Nothing.
Remember, we had that conversation, right? They may get rid of him if they get. And I'm like, I don't think so. Rivera's pretty staple, and I don't think a new owner is going to want to come in and ruffle feathers like that.
He's a veteran coach,
minority coach.
Yeah. They brought, Bieniemy is there, the OC now. So yeah, I think he's pretty safe, unless they fall apart completely, which I doubt.
I don't think they're going to fall apart completely. Just I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think I don't think the Redskins is a good place for Rivera.
Commanders, don't forget.
The Commanders are a good place for the Rivera. It's a good place that he landed. It's just I think that conference is just getting better. I don't see Washington rising.
They're not bad offensively. They do have good receivers.
Yeah.
They do have a good defense. Their defense is not bad. It's just that quarterback position when they had to deal with that guy. And then now they're gonna, throw Sam Howell, the kid from North Carolina, to the Wolves. So we'll see, how they will, but they're not bad. And that kid wasn't bad at all, at North Carolina. So we'll see, about the Commanders in the future.
Yeah, it's just the conference is tough. But again, we almost had 4 teams in the playoffs, so anything could happen. All righty. So and Dallas. So how's Philly? Let's get into Philly. You're in Philly. Let's get there before we go to the next one. Nothing quite on the set.
Nothing. They're still, like we talked about last week. They're still talking about Bijan Robinson. My man Eric. I even brought it up with Bijan, but then with my pick, I changed to an edge rusher, Miles Murphy from Clemson, because they do need an edge because Brandon Graham is getting older and Fletcher Cox, the defensive tackle, is getting older, and they do need some new young blood on the opposite line since Sulaf and I think Linville Joseph and Hargrave. So they do need to replace some of the people pieces on the defensive line, and it does help that Kelsey is coming back, for another year on the offensive.
This is like his 19th year?
Nah, it's not that long. 13, 14. Yeah, he's up
there. They had a good segment on one of the shows, him and his brother on a podcast. And his brother kept saying, "Can you identify this coach?" Travis Kelsey was funny, man. I was dying.
That picture of all the coaches? Yeah, that was funny as hell.
Who the defensive coordinators were? He didn't know. It was so funny. You saw that, right?
There's a lot of them he didn't know. It's like, who is this guy?
I don't know. And then he would know. He wouldn't even know who they were. But he go, he would know the team. He wouldn't know who the coach was, right? And then his brother was laughing. He goes, "Dude, they're in your conference. How can you not know who the defensive coordinator is you're playing against?" Kelsey's funny, man. He was cracking me up. All right, and then Dallas. They're giving Dallas again. That's why they hate it, dude. It's just they get so much love from the media.
They were also talking about Elliott coming back, maybe at a lower salary too. That was one of the things that they were talking about around here.
Really? If I know Elliott based on what I know of him, I think he's kind of put a disdain on him. You know what I mean? He's like, I think he's still got a couple of years. He's going to be a good pickup for a team.
He's going back to Dallas. That's what I think.
You think
if they don't draft a running back and the draft in 2 weeks, he's coming back.
Okay. And now we got. So we went there. We got Elliott, Philly. We got OBJ signing with
the Ravens.
With the Ravens. I think that's just a terrible move.
Well, one, they don't even know who the quarterback
They're thinking that Lamar is going to come back now because OBJ's there, but I just don't think that's I think OBJ is just ruining his career. I mean, if he gets paid, that ruins it. It's hard to say about ruin a guy's career when they make that kind of money because, now he makes so much money that it really don't matter. He doesn't. He's set, right? Yeah. But I don't think the Ravens is a good place for an OBJ player, right? He's an offensive weapon, and I don't think that's a good place for him. He should have gone with, when he's performed with, quarterback. Exactly.
But if Lamar comes back and plays the way he used to play, he's not a bad passer. He's never been given the weapons besides the tight end. He's always thrown, 1,000 passes to the tight end. People really don't know what he can do if he gets a bona fide number one receiver. I personally, I think he can take his game to another level with OBJ. But OBJ has also had 2 knee surgeries. He's 30 years old now, and who knows? You know, he didn't play last year. Maybe he's not going to be explosive as he was, but I want to see him do well because, you know, he's OBJ and, you know, he means a lot, you know, to the Giant fans back in the day.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see what happens there. I'm also give you a little bit more insight that I learned on the Aaron Rodgers situation. But let's look at your sheet. All right, let's make this bad boy a little bigger. All right, so where we start? You tell me.
This is what I did. To the right, where you see the quarterbacks, you know, all of them listed.
Mhm.
The quarterbacks I listed from, you know, the top 1 to 6, which is Hendon Hurner.
This is drafts.
Yes, this is all the draft prospects. Yes.
All right, so for our listeners, right now. You'll be able to download the sheet. We have the top 150 for the 2023 draft. Right now, we got it broken down by quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends.
And according to their ranking, you know, if they're the number one guy.
We got it ranked offensive tackle. And then we got it by what's this?
Guard and center.
Inside offensive line. Okay. Guard, center, safety, linebacker, D-line, quarterback, and edge.
The big one, edge.
And so what's the edge? Okay, so what's an edge rusher now? Like technically, is that a running back or is it defense? It's a lineman.
It's either a defensive end, outside linebacker. That's all it is.
Okay, so it's like a hybrid, right?
Yeah.
It's a hybrid lineman, defensive end.
Right.
All right. So what do we got? So Bryce Young is back up there again.
Oh no, that's not. Here, go all the way to the left. Go the other way.
Oh, you have them in ranking of order
as far as who's going to pick who. And what I did here was, like the first one, you know, because Bryce is the number 1 quarterback.
Hold on a second. So we're looking at the first round now, and we have Carolina who's picking first. Go ahead, right. Byron.
And I picked, you know, as far as the number 1 guy in my list is Bryce Young, and right in the middle is what I did was I listed according to what they needed. So Carolina needs quarterback, wide receiver.
So okay, man, this shifted a lot again. Okay, so now you got the Ohio
because that's what I did.
You have the Ohio State guy coming back.
Yeah. What I did was I picked according to the team's needs. That's what I did this time. So whatever, like in the middle, like, you know, where it says like quarterback, wide receiver from Houston. Quarterback, wide receiver.
How did you bring? How did Will Levis come back up? I thought he was terrible in the interviews.
Because he's the number 3 quarterback. Well, number 2 according to my list.
Yeah, I know, but didn't he drop before because he interviewed terribly?
Yes, and he's still talented. You know, maybe they can fix it, but I'm just saying I just picked it according to.
And you got Richardson dropping to 7.
Yes.
Interesting.
And you see where it says Las Vegas quarterback, they need one, even though they do have Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G. So, you know, he can sit a year or two with, you know, Jimmy G playing and, you know, learn the system and learn how to be, you know, a pro.
Okay. All right. So those listening or watching or going over to YouTube, get and subscribe. Smash the notification button. You can get this drop down, and this will help you out in both.
Just remember, this list is according to the team's needs. Like, well, let's go to 8. Like Atlanta. So Atlanta, I have
as opposed
edge.
to what else would it,
that's the most important thing.
What else would it be?
What?
Like if it's not according to their needs, what else would it be?
Well, some people just pick. Oh, well, we don't need this. We're just going to pick the best available player, or best athlete, or whatever. Do that.
That's true. That's true. But you got to be like an out. So let me go in with this. We're going to stick with this, but let me kind of combine this since we're talking about draft picks, right? So the number 13th pick is, we've been talking about the Jets giving that up, right?
Right.
Interesting story they were talking about today. So you know, there's a lot of dynamics with the Aaron Rodgers trend, right? So one, you know, you can't take it in a vacuum, as I'm learning, right? So I'm like, there's no reason for them to train him before June 1st because they're gonna take a $40 million hit, right? Or $30 million.
22 million, some crazy number.
$20 million hit. But the opposite side is that if they needed, you know, but the opposite side is from Green Bay's perspective, if they needed picks, if they wanted that 13th pick, right? then if now I understand why they have to do it beforehand, because now they won't get the pick in this
Right.
draft, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the analysts was talking about that they just don't think that this draft class is that good. And so remember what I'm saying, if I was them, I'd give up to get Aaron Rodgers. Jets need something, right? But they're also saying is why give up the draft capital when it's not a good draft year anyways, right? And then you're going to give up 22 million. They don't
Like
think it's a good draft class. Do you think it's a good draft class?
it can fill a lot of teams' needs. It's not like where it's like the number one guy is like the greatest guy in the history of the NFL. Like sometimes, with Trevor Lawrence and people like that. But it's a good draft to fill your needs. That's pretty much what it is. Next year's quarterback, pick, Caleb Williams at USC, the kid at Meyer or whatever, I forgot what his name is, from North Carolina. They're the two top quarterbacks. They're better than the ones that are coming out in the draft now.
Here's the guy I was looking for. I wanted to see where you had him. Louis Reddit was talking about this guy. I was looking him up. This kid, Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
He's got some talent.
Yep. Fast too.
He's got some talent. He's 6'2".
Yeah, that's a big corner. That's big.
That's a big corner, man. He's 6'2", like 211 pounds with speed.
Yep.
That's a big corner, man. That's a good pick. He's Colombian, but his whole family is like, his dad is 6'9".
Dang.
And his sister is a All-American track at the University of Texas. Like their whole family are like athletes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad was like played basketball, international basketball, right? And then his sister's a track star. I think his two sisters are, and then he's they're all athletes, right? From Colombia. Well, he was born here, but his family's from Colombia. I just wanted to see if you had him here because I just saw him this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go see what we got here. Let's go for our listeners real quick, so we can go into a few other things that we got coming up. Where am I going here?
I don't know.
We'll leave the draft. Draft is in 2 weeks, right? All right. So you got Bryce Young, quarterbacks. Number one, Bryce. This is the order of ranking by position, not the order of taking for the draft. So go ahead, Byron. You tell them with the number one is rank your quarterbacks.
You just basically covered it. Bryce Young, number one, Levis 2, Stroud 3, Richardson 4, Tanner McGee, the kid, big quarterback from Stanford, 6'6", and Hendon Hooker, who hurt his knee during the season, who probably would be as high as number 3 if he didn't get hurt. But he put up big numbers before he got hurt. But the other thing they're saying, he's 25 years old. He might be 26 when the season starts. And so that's like probably a little problem that Tennessee kind of plays like a gimmicky kind of offense. So they don't know if it's the system that he played in or he's that good. But, somebody's going to take a flyer on him. They have to give him a red shirt year. And, it's going to be a good pick for somebody. Herndon Hooker from Tennessee.
What do you have going in the draft?
Second, third round. He's not even going to be,
So he'd be a good pick at a second or third round.
Yeah, second, third, yeah.
All right, so running back, this is what you're just talking about, right?
Yep.
Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
Bijan Robinson, number one is the number one ranked running back, according to Byron and the Jersey Boys Sports Talk.
That's right.
Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama.
That's going to be a good pickup for somebody. That kid.
So they got the number one quarterback and number two running back. Corno. You got Zach Charbonnet.
Yep, from UCLA. It's going to be a good back. See, this is what they're talking about as far as not paying, all the running backs that are there now, because all these guys, just about all of them are going to get drafted. They're going to play. They're going to put up numbers. And that's why, them days of paying, running back $15, $16 million is a done deal.
You think it's
They're not going to pay him that kind of crazy unless they have the second coming of Jim Brown somewhere. That's the only way somebody's going to make that kind of money from now on. What are we doing there? What, all the Zacks or something?
No, that's all SEC.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. And I'm going against the grain because I'm even counting Texas A&M because I still don't count them as legacy. So even without Texas A&M, you're talking about in two prime positions. I haven't even got the receivers. You know, 6 are from legacy SEC, 7 are from the current SEC. Right.
Right.
Now we got receivers. You got Quentin Johnson, TCU.
Big receiver, 6'4", and can fly.
Really?
Big receiver. He didn't play that well in the college football championship game. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, Tennessee has 2 guys that might be taken, that the Giants probably could get maybe in the second round. Hyatt and Chris Tillman, one of those 2, maybe be a good, pick 7 in the third round, because you can see it's like 20 of them that are, everybody's not going to go to the first round. Everybody's not going to second round, and maybe they might sneak into the third, the fourth round. But we need a big receiver. That's what we need. Someone with size for the outside.
Yeah, we need another one just to add to our 16-20 receiver. we need a line, man. We
need a center. We need a center and maybe a left guard, maybe.
All right, so we got a tight ends. So we got Dalton Kincaid out of Utah, Michael Myers.
Very athletic tight end, not much of a blocker, but he can definitely catch the ball and get at it. Probably the most complete all-around tight end is like Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. And Darnell Washington is the big giant tight end from Georgia. Is probably about 290 pounds and can run. He's another Gronk.
Which one? Dalton?
Darnell Washington from Georgia.
Wow. All right, let's get to the good stuff in the defense. Yeah. All right. So Brian Branch from Alabama. Man, Alabama's got another one ranked number 1.
Yep.
And then they got another one. Look at this. This is just SEC. It's just incredible, dude. This is probably why everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, linebacker Drew Sanders is probably. It could also be a pick for the Giants because he can, play off the ball. Play inside linebacker. He's kind of tall, like 6'4", 6'5". He's a big line, but he's formerly from Alabama. He transferred from Alabama. Drew Sanders, Arkansas.
All right. Oh my God! Look at this. Alabama, Will Anderson, number 1. Look at Jalen Carr, defensive line. This is a gentleman that was in trouble, no?
Yeah.
Jesus. Cornerbacks. Oh, you got number 2 is Christian Good. Did Devon Witherspoon?
Yes.
I haven't heard his name.
Guy. That's a Lovie Smith guy.
Oh, okay.
Lovie was there. All right. And the pick number 5 is the pick that I have going to the Giants for a cornerback at number 25.
I like cornerbacks out of Mississippi State.
Well, you would love this guy. He's kind of rangy. He's about 166 pounds. He's kind of thin, but he's fast as lightning. And when he does pick up the ball, he can take it to the house. That's the kind of corner that Wink Martindale wants. Somebody can play man-to-man and be a ball hawk and, get after it at the corner. Put him out there on the Victor Rocho Island and see what he can do.
It's a big guy. This guy Cam Smith, I heard, is pretty good.
Yeah. And then the Tomlinson, I think that's Damian Tomlinson's nephew, I think. TCU kid, number 10.
Okay. All right. So this looks pretty good. All right. Well, all right. There you have it. We have our top 150 in the draft coming out by position. We got the first round picks. Please go and download it. We got no first rounders for
the Rams.
The Rams. They just gave up everything, huh?
They need everything. Miami,
Cleveland, Denver, San Francisco. Oh my God. All right. So don't forget, we have this here.
But the picks, just so people know, the picks are according to need, not
the best athlete.
Not the best athlete, according to what they possibly need.
Exactly. All right. Okay, so now what do we got? So they were. I want to just I laugh when I hear things, similar discussions that we have. Oh, I took a snapshot. I want to find the picture. I was going to post it. So, remember how I always, my claim to fame or my comment always is, I don't like when people start off saying, well, if he stays healthy, right?
Right.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
And so sure enough, that's what happened on one of the sports talks again. Their issue was, so I took a picture of it. I took a picture of the amount of games that Tua has been out during his career.
A lot.
Oh, here it is.
But
all right.
You know what came out today? They have new helmets for the quarterbacks to wear, just so you know.
What do you mean?
They came out with a new design that help prevent concussions. And they came out with that today for quarterbacks.
All right, so look at games missed due to injury. 2019, ankle hit, 4 games. Okay. In 2020, he only missed 1 thumb. In 2021, he missed 4. In 2022, he missed 5. That's a lot.
Yeah, but okay. All right. On the same, what about Lamar Jackson? He's missed a lot of games too.
Yeah, but Tua is not Lamar Jackson. He can't say it,
No, I ain't trying to compare him. I'm just saying as far as, just the position they play and things happen.
I'm just making the point being is that again, even the commenters you're not going to go in the season like he's not. You can't rely on the fact that he may or may not be there. You know what I mean? That's a tough deal.
He's gonna here. I'm gonna be crazy right now. He's going to be available and he's going to throw for 4,000 yards this year.
That's funny.
Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, I like the kid. I want to see him.
I love that kid, man. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards.
I don't get me wrong. I like Tua. I'd like to see him do well. I like to see University. I like to see Miami do well. But it's just so I don't like having my hopes. Looking for something good and it's not there, and he hasn't proven himself, and it doesn't look good.
4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
If he stays healthy,
he's going to be fine, man. He went to judo class and he learned how to fall.
Oh yeah, that's what they said. They said he's been taking judo. So I ended up charging my phone as my laptop. So, all right, well that's what we have. All right, we have our picks. We're getting ready for the draft. It was interesting on the Aaron Rodgers piece. It's interesting on Lamar Jackson. It's interesting that Trey Lance is on. They're looking to do something with Trey Lance. It's interesting they're looking to do something with Mac Jones. Man, it's going across. They're just. I think they're just rewriting the books.
Well, Mac Jones kind of did whatever he did, as far as going outside, the Patriot way to get. I guess all he's trying to do is get better. But Bill Belichick, he figured Belichick's like 70-something years old or whatever he is. And sometimes people, when you get to be that age, you're just kind of set in your ways. You want people to do it your way or highway. So we'll see, if Mac Jones is even still going to be there. If Belichick is that angry with him.
Yeah, I think Belichick's time has come. He needs to retire.
Why? What did we say last week when we were talking about it? He's close to, beating the record, Don Shula has as far as most wins. So why wouldn't he stay, 8 years?
He's got to play 3 more. He's got at least 3 years. He's going to coach.
If he coaches 3 years.
How many games does he need? He said 19.
Yeah, something like 19 or whatever.
It was an odd number. It was like 19 games. Yeah, well, I mean, if he's got only, then that he should stay, right, to go for it, right? But if he's not close after the second year, I mean, how much longer do you want to go into your 80s?
I'm just going. Hey, it won't be the first time, but just remember, man, he's Bill Belichick, probably the greatest, defensive mind, the NFL has ever seen. It's a fact, and he's going to right the ship, with New England. And don't sleep on the Patriots. I'm just throwing that out there.
I ain't sleeping on the Patriots. I don't care about the AFC East, but I just think that it's a I don't know. I don't see that organization. I don't count Belichick out because I think he's so smart that he starts figuring things out and he's always going to be competitive. I just don't think they're the same organization they were.
Oh, yeah. Well, you figure Tom Brady for 20 years. Yeah, that's a
hard. Yeah. That's a hard hole to fill.
It's hard. And then when you replace your offensive coordinator with two guys that one was a defensive coordinator and one was a special teams guy, that was just. Yeah.
Well, not only that, think about it. I mean, he did that after the guy left to be a head coach and did a lousy job and still took him back and then got rid of him again. So maybe his decision-making abilities are starting to dwindle down.
Yeah. Well, at least last week we couldn't figure out the guy's name. Bill O'Brien is a good offensive coordinator. And, I think
I said O'Brien.
No, you were close.
What did I say?
I don't remember what you said. Throw a hand grenade. As long as you're close for the hand grenade, it counts.
I was close. That's
You're
right.
close.
I see the first name.
He's a good offensive coordinator. Every place he's been, he has been. So he'll probably, hopefully, fix what's going on in New England, and they're going to be a different team. Like I said, don't sleep on the Patriots.
I don't ever sleep on the Patriots. I sleep on the Dolphins. I sleep on the Jets.
The Jets.
But again, Rodgers goes there, changes that team.
Rodgers ain't going there. Rodgers going to end up in San Francisco.
No way.
Why not?
He goes to San Francisco. That's a Super Bowl contender.
So why would you want to rather go there than to the Jets?
I don't care where he goes. I mean, I'd rather him go to the Jets because I don't want him in the NFC. Why would I want him? Why would I want him to go against San Francisco, right? If I have a slimmer of hope for the Giants, right? Why would I want him to be in my own conference?
Rodgers is pulling the flim flam at everybody. He wants to go home, man. He's a California guy, man. He played in California. He wants to go home to the sunny, Northern California, and bring a Super Bowl to the storied franchise, the San Francisco 49ers. That would be a great way to end his career.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. You being law enforcement person. So they passed a new law. My brother-in-law was telling me they passed a new law, and he's telling me, oh yeah, man, the Governor DeSantis passed a new law. Now it's, boom, you don't need a permit to carry, or you can open carry. I'm like, you can open carry in Florida? I'm like, for real? He goes, yeah. When did that happen? He goes, like 10 days ago, they signed it. And, my niece called and you guys got to be careful because it's going to get crazy. I'm like, open carry. I hate it. I mean, Louisiana, did you know that in the areas or the cities in the states that they're allowed open carry, they have the lowest crime rate?
Yeah, they're mostly in the bushes in the woods. It ain't going to happen around in a major city where people walk around with guns. People
they're walking around already with it. It's concealed. So what's the difference?
A big difference. Now, if you have somebody like, okay, hey, you know what? Hey, give everybody a gun. Here you go.
No, give everybody. Wait a second. I want to answer that.
Go ahead.
There's concealed,
right?
You know that, and then there's open carry,
right?
Okay, Florida is concealed, right? But you can get a gun. You don't need. It's not difficult to get a gun, right?
Everybody does not need a gun. That's. Uh-oh.
Hey, Byron,
What?
are you there?
Yeah.
All right. I knew my phone battery was dying.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, so now you get to see that's the backdrop of my place. So we'll wrap it up here. So my point being is, I don't know what it's so I go, okay, I go, man, that's awesome because I wear suits and stuff, and if I carry or don't carry, you got to wear it in a place that you can't be seen, and sometimes it's difficult. Open carry, at least I can wear it like a Secret Service agent or so forth. So sure enough, I go before I do that, I ain't gonna be dumb. I go look up the law. It's not open carry. So thank God, one, I didn't do that because I would have been arrested. But it's worse. Unfortunately, I don't want to get into politics, but it's literally what they changed that you no longer need to have a license. He got rid of the concealed weapons license. You can just go. You don't need to go to a class or anything, gun, and you can carry a concealed weapon.
Bad move.
Huh?
Bad move.
Yeah, I don't like that either. The reason why I like the registration is because now you can trace it, right? Like, my gun is anytime when you go to buy a gun, you have to have a license, and then they mark it and they can track you down. How would they do it if you don't have it? If you don't have a license, they do by your driver's license.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I buy a gun and someone steals it, I got to report it right away because it's attached to me. I guess they probably can track it the same way. I just think that you should be going to a class to how to handle a gun.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea because I've seen in my day a lot of non-shooting people that really don't need a gun in their hand.
Yeah. Man, look, listen to me. The whole point of me the point of having a concealed weapons license, I can't imagine anybody, not even a police officer, wanting to have to use it. Like, I don't ever want to take a life, but if I got to protect my family, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do. But anyhow, it was just weird. It was just funny how you get a law that's you misinterpret it, and if you're not smart enough to go look it up, especially with the ramifications of a gun. I mean, imagine me walking outside of Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
That's like around here, like Pennsylvania. They don't have a reciprocal agreement with New Jersey. Like if you got the gun and you cross that border to go over to New Jersey and that cop stops you, guess what? You're going to jail. But if you can't,
but I thought Jersey just changed their gun laws. I thought they allowed.
I wouldn't. There ain't no way I would get my gun and drive across that bridge with that gun and get stopped by a cop. I wouldn't do it.
Well, what I do know is I can drive with a gun from Florida all the way up to Pennsylvania, and then from that point on, that's where it stops.
Yeah, New Jersey, no sir.
Yeah, you cross that line. All right. Well, all righty. Well, thank you for watching this, watching and listening to the Sportscast. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sportscast on your channels. Download the Jersey Boys Sports Talk podcast on your phone. Listen to us every week. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. You could also go and hear us anytime, any day of the week, any episode. There's lots of clips going out there. Please stay tuned. So next Thursday at 8 p.m. All 8 9 fingers he's got up there. 8 p.m. Please join us. Pass it along. Looking forward to seeing you, Byron. As always, great job with the numbers and the stats. And I'm getting ready. Man, the season started feels like it's catching up on us quickly. So I want to enjoy my summer.
Good idea.
But you take care. Say hello to everybody, the family, and we'll talk soon, buddy.
All right.
Peace. Good night.
All right.